Hello, chaps. How are you? It's here again. Friday rolls around. It seems to happen every week, this, doesn't it? Friday always seems such a long way off. When let's put it this way, when the Monday hangover kicks in, it just seems like it's Friday is absolutely eons away. And then, you just kind of knuckle down and kind of get on with stuff. And before you know where you are, it's Thursday or Friday Eve, as we call it in this house. And here we are again on the beer. Cheers, everyone. As usual, I have... Oh, Paul Trainer, just seen your super chat there. Thank you so much, mate. As usual, I sit here with an hour stretching in front of me between me and it's actually chili fries tonight. Made a big batch of chili this week. I sit here with an hour stretching out in front of me between me and some solid sustenance as opposed to the liquid kind, and I never have any idea what I'm going to talk about, but we always seem to manage, don't we? I do have actually one thing I need to talk about this evening, but some of you aren't going to want to hear it. I'll explain more about that as we go on, but first let's do the roll call, see who we've got in. Who was first in? Johnny Random. You're kind of making a bit of a habit of this, aren't you, mate? He was first in. Then Lawrence Hastings and Rob Staboy and Dr. Gomez. Then there's Robert ZZ. And I always forget which way it's pronounced, mate. I do apologise. Then sometimes Dim Never Thin. And then we got Anton and Lawrence Hastings. Have I said you already? There's Ian Clark and Grandpa Joe. There's Dave Lewis and PFY Guitars. Bringing up the rear there, we've got Balder, Steve Entwistle and Edwin Toonan. Scrolling down a bit further, I see we've got Peter Collins, and who else have we got? Paul Trainer, Terry Day, Michael Palmer, and Vincent Brennan. And scrolling even further down, I see we've got John Ross and David Evans, and who else have we got? Chip Young is there, and just a lot of chat going on there. I'll take a look at what you've been saying in a moment. We've got Phil then in the room, then James Hunt. Hello from Chile Dagenham. Chip Young, it's new guitar day for Chip. You'll have to tell us what you got, mate. We've got Michael Purcell, Tom B, Rent to Kill, Stratboy 999, David Collins, Brad Matthews, and Savvy64. Deco Dude is in, so's Chris Otterwell, and Michael Belliveau, and Farjohn is in. Muskie's in. He's got a new guitar as well. Ert, or is it E-Art or Ert? It looks like Ert to me, so that's what I'm going to say. Ert CK1, great neck. The necks on those Ert guitars are sublime, aren't they? Then we've got, is that Chikishina in there, and Fiend Tunes, and John Mack, Stu 1950. Hello from, is that Kooskia, Idaho, US? Well, hello from the northeast coast of Yorkshire in little old England. We've got Steve Cassidy guitar there. Happy Friday, y'all. Dry January over soon. Can join you with a beer on next Friday. Yeah. January, dry January. No, I don't do dry January. It's the longest, coldest, wettest, darkest, most miserable, godforsaken month, and usually characterized by the Christmas bills landing on the doormat. And you think, I'm going to get through that without a drink. You've got another thing coming. Then we've got Thomas Mulvaney and David James. There's Peter Nicholson, the Essex Cat, and Jason Carter. Who else we've got? Gearview Mirror, Cool Cat, John Channing, Mark Kerno, sporting my birthday John Robson t-shirt. Happy birthday, mate. Then who else we've got? 21st Century Boy, Evening Aussie, how are you, mate? Colin Falcon's there, Patrick Becker, and who else we got? Anthony McManus and Watches and Guitars, Paul Williamson, Ron Wells, Stuart Young, and who else we got? Paul Trainer, as I say, thank you for the super chat, mate. And let's scroll down a bit more. Ben Allmark, Andy Nisbet, and Matthew Stirl is there. So is Mark Greening. Nice to see you, mate. On the Fritz 602, Cliff Hogan, Martin Scholes, Alan Hoole, Nigel Arthur, Wrexham Matic in snowy Montana. And who else we got? We've got OK Live and Randy Upchurch. Ian's Guitar Shack in Allway over in Indianapolis is joining us for a beer. You can have I don't know what time it is in Indianapolis, mate, but it's 5 o'clock somewhere, namely Redcar. So you can indulge if you are in a position to. We've got Jay Aoyong and Cal B and the Rocco Cat. Frank Bolam is in. And let's have a look. Eric Luttinger and Luttinger, I'm not sure. I do apologise if I've just butchered that. We've got Jamal123, Don Carter. Don Carter's mentioning Classic Rock Show back in town Sunday. Looking forward to it. Yeah, we're going to see them again in March up at the Sage in Gateshead. I'm really looking forward to that. Then we've got Andrew, Brian, Dennis Flock, Mike Hurley. And that pretty much sums it all up. And I see there's, currently looking at my figures on screen, there's 165 of you have turned up to watch a fat, bald lad talk nonsense for an hour whilst, necking Heineken. That is what this evening's stream of verbal diary is sponsored by. I should get a beer sponsor, shouldn't I? It would no, that could get messy. Anyway, usually around about this time of the evening, I tell you what's coming up on the channel this week, and that's what we're going to do right now. You'll have seen, or maybe you did, maybe you didn't. You possibly saw the unboxing of that little Faisley Galactic Tube 5 on, what was that, yesterday. And, well, the full kind of demo of that is coming up on Sunday. A lot of you have commented funnily enough, in the comments, excuse me, I just need to clean my glasses. You rarely see me without my glasses on, do you? That's what this face looks like when it's not double glazed. A lot of you have commented about the fact that amp was quite noisy, and I do have to agree with you, and I do address that in Sunday's video. But you can hear what it sounds like in a mix on Sunday. One thing I will say is that it does take effects really well. There's one particular part in the demo where it's absolutely kind of dripping wet with reverb, and it really does. I think it's an amp that suits that kind of thing. But you'll hear that on Sunday. Then on Monday, the usual solo analysis kind of thing we've got going on. This week it is a little bit of classic Southern rock. So think of a classic Southern rock band and think of one of their big hits that was written by the chap who later went on to be the frontman of Survivor, Jim Petrick, or Petrick, however it's pronounced. He wrote a song that ended up becoming the breakthrough hit for a well-known Southern rock band. So there's a few clues. So see what you can pick out of that one. Then on Tuesday, it's a top 5 video, as it always is on a Tuesday. And this is kind of the big one, really, for me, because I've talked about my 5 favourite guitar tones, my 5 favourite blues albums, 5 favourite rock albums, 5 favourite this, 5 favourite that, whatever. But this is basically me talking about the 5 pieces of music that got me into music in the first place. Not the kind of things that made me want to play the guitar or made me think I need to get a Strat or something like that. This is, kind of from when I was a kid, the music that I heard that made me kind of think music is special. Music is something I want to kind of surround myself with and possibly one day, participate in. So it's all about, the music that got me into music. That is Tuesday's video. Then on Wednesday, it is once again a viewer's question video. So I'll just mention that if you have any questions at all of the guitar or music related nature, you can get in touch with me via the usual methods. You can leave a comment below any of my videos. You can email me jrguitartuition@gmail.com, or you can use the contact form on my website, which is, the link is in the description to all my videos. I know the link has been malfunctioning lately, but it is functioning now. But just go to johnrobsonmusic.co.uk and go to the use the contact form on the lessons page of my website. Any way you want to get in touch with me, send me a question, and it could get featured in one of the viewers' questions videos. Somebody did that, and picking me up on a little kind of thing that I've mentioned in one of the many phrasing videos that I've done about using repetition. So it's how to use repetition without it sounding repetitive, and it's just all about how you do things rhythmically. It's all about essentially syncopation. So that is Wednesday's video. There's a fair amount of kind of theory stuff in that, so it'll probably get absolutely zilch number of views, but it's, you know, I like doing the videos, and the ones that hit the bullseye, the ones that bounce off the wire at the edge of the board, you know, well, that's fine as well. And then on Thursday, we have another amp unboxing. You know, I said I got 2 amps from Bax Music, the that Galactic Tube 5 and the Meteor 15. Thursday's video is the other one, the 15 watt practice amp. So let's have a swig of Heineken and have a tug on the old vape. Let's have a look and see what's been going on in the chat. 5 favorite numbers. Do you know, maybe it's just the way my brain is wired. But, you know, whenever anyone says to me, what's your favorite number? Because people, do have, like, it's not an uncommon thing for people to have a favorite number, but I don't understand it. It's like I'll often reply with, well, what's your favorite punctuation mark? You know, what's your favorite letter of the alphabet? It's, you know, what I'm trying to say is that I don't have a favorite number. Let's have a look. Any guesses about the solo on Monday? Doesn't look like there's been any. No, I haven't lit a fire under that yet. Oh, dear me! I do believe somebody just. Oh, well, thank you so much. Hi, OK Live. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you. Oh, it was in reference to your top 5 vids. Okay, Steve, I got that. It was just like 5 favorite numbers. I just don't. What I'm trying to say is I don't have any preference for numerical digits whatsoever. I'll tell you the solo on Monday is it's a song called "Rockin' Into the Night" by 38 Special, which I only just found out when I was doing the research for the video, that it was actually written by the guy who later went on to become famous for singing "Eye of the Tiger." I see I'm getting a lot of requests to do the Harley Benton Tube 15. Not seeing a bad review. If it had a headphone out, I would be very interested. Yeah, I was going to do the Harley Benton. That was planned. Okay, that's a plan. Well, it wasn't. It wasn't that it was planned. It is planned. But I just haven't had the opportunity to get it yet. I have only just started ordering from Toman again because, as you know, I had an appalling customer service experience with them not that long ago, so I put them on the naughty step. But in a video that will be coming up in a few weeks' time, you're going to see me ordering a piece of kit from them and, just putting it through its paces. Spoiler alert, I bought myself a new acoustic guitar. And if I've had to buy it from Toman, you can probably guess which brand it is. Do you have a David Crosby song in the pipeline? Yes, in as much as, and this is a little bit of a glimpse into the future, I'm noticing that the Monday solo videos are starting to kind of get less and less views. Sometimes one will kind of hit the bullseye, but more often than not, they don't. So I'm seriously thinking about replacing that with maybe doing song-based videos where it's like when I do essentially what I do with students in lessons, which is I take longer in a lesson to do it, but it's the nature of YouTube that you've got to sort of truncate it a little bit, where I just kind of deliver like a thumbnail sketch of a song, what the chords are, what the strumming pattern is, and, you know, basically that's it, you know, or if there's picking involved, or maybe if there's a simple riff involved, not going into any sort of in-depth stuff about, you know, solos and that kind of thing. So I am thinking of kind of going that route with the Monday videos rather than the solo videos, because they are, as I say, starting to tail off a bit. It's not a decision I've made yet, but it is one that I am considering. If that sounds like an absolutely heinous crime of an idea, and you want me to keep the Monday solo videos, then let me know. You're the audience, and I will ultimately do what you want to watch, within reason. Obviously, you know, just don't ask me to sing and dance. I ain't going to do that. But you know, well, if you want me to kind of go in a different direction with the solo videos, because like I have noticed that they are starting to kind of wither on the vine a little bit. But yeah, if I am going to go into doing the song-based things, then David Crosby is definitely going to be one of the artists I'll feature amongst many others. So there you go. Rick Beato style, well, possibly, yeah, but you know, unlike Rick Beato, I won't be able to, you know, kind of get my hands on the master tapes to do the what makes this song great kind of things. But you know. Boulder saying Crosby, Stills, Nash, Wooden Ships. Yep, okay, that would be. Let me write that down because I will forget. CSN, Wooden Ships. Rexomatic is asking, do I have to worry about demonetization when showing how to play cover songs? I don't worry about demonetization. It just happens sometimes. I tend to think of it as like, well, you know, it's like it either will rain when you go out walking the dog or it won't. But, you know, it's either going to happen or it isn't. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, I can guarantee that if I do anything with even a remote connection to the Eagles, that will get demonetized. The last one that I think I had demonetized was the Jeff Beck tribute that I did, but I was expecting that. And the one before that, the last one that got demonetized, was when I did the Scorpions solo analysis, Wind of Change. But by and large, they tend to kind of slip through most of the time. And as one thing I've been doing this week is recording the Patreon podcast for February. And I usually put a little bit of a kind of opinion piece in the middle of that at some point. And basically this month, well, February, I stress the opinion that, you know, yes, I legally do have the right to earn money from those videos. And yes, you can kind of start spitting the dummy out and chucking the toys out of the pram because I am getting ripped off. But when I think about how many times over the years I may have, you know, kind of copied an album onto a cassette and given it to a friend, or, you know, had the same favor returned to me, or, you know, that kind of thing. I think when it comes to who has, you know, kind of been a bit sneaky in that score, I think I'm a little bit ahead on points when it comes to me versus the record labels. So, you know, it's, you know, it swings and roundabouts. You win some, you lose some, is the view I take. Let's have a look. First one never touches the sides, does it? Yeah, 21st Century Boy. I saw the the Justin Hawkins interview with Rick Beato. Thoroughly enjoyable hour and a half. Ryan Byrne is saying, how is Little Dougal? Little Dougal is on the naughty step at the moment. If I just kind of show you there, you can probably see the sticking plaster on my head. I don't know if you can or not, because I can't see what you can see now. There is a sticking plaster on my head right there, because he headbutted the bathroom door open when I was stood at the bathroom sink having a shave this morning. And I'm wearing nothing but a towel, and he's kind of trying to climb up me with his dew claws, and I'm kind of right in the middle of shaving there. And yes, slice. So yes, he's not in me good books at the moment. But then again, you know, he just comes up to you with those big sad puppy dog eyes, because he's a big sad puppy dog when he wants to be, and all is forgiven. Right. Yes, indeed. Ouch. When it happened, I must admit, there were some choice words emitted. I said, "Oh, fiddlesticks, dearie me, you little scoundrel. That was silly, wasn't it?" Or words to that effect, you know. Oh, Jason, I thought my printer was making... That's going up on screen. You should be ashamed of yourself, mate. I thought my printer was making music, just realised it was a paper jam. Oh, dear me, they get worse. Let's have a look. What's that guitar on the wall behind you next to the bass? Westone. No, I'll go and grab it. I'll show you what it is. This is an indie guitar that I bought off one of my students for 150 quid. And it's just a nice little kind of P90 guitar. I don't play it all that often, but because you have your favourites that you go to. But it's got an action that is lower than a rattlesnake scrotum, and a couple of nice, I think these are Seymour Duncan Fat Cats that are in it. Single volume, single tone, mahogany body and neck, rosewood fretboard, I believe, and a walnut top. Great little guitar, and for 150 quid, it's an absolute blinder, and it's got a really good kind of clangy P90 sound, which I would show you, but I haven't got the amp switched on or anything like that. I've not been in here today to do any guitar work. I've been doing sort of catching up with all the usual boring stuff that I do on a Saturday, emails and admin and all that sort of stuff. What else we got in the chat? Is anybody like me? What's that, Dave Peg? Is anybody like me to go? I think, is anybody like me without a local guitar shop? Is that what you're saying, Dave? We've got a great one just in the next town down the coast. Stephen James Guitars. They've always got a good range of stuff in, and great little shop. Sadly, I don't go there as much as I should to show them support, but you know, they seem to be doing okay. I'm thinking about maybe getting in touch with them to maybe, because it's a great little guitar shop. It's 10 minutes away from me, and maybe there might be some sort of collaboration we can do. So you've got Dave Fiendish in. How are you, mate? I'm sorry, I'm just reading Chip Young's joke. My printer leaked everywhere. I think it was Ink's essay. Oh, dear me, yes. Keep drinking the beer, mate. I bet John's one of those guys who has a crowd round him at the guitar. Never happened to me, mate. Never happened to me. You know, put it into perspective. You know, I mean, I think my subscriber count just recently tipped over 27,000, which I'm incredibly grateful for, and I feel, you know, ridiculously humble that 27,000 people listening to the musings of a fat middle-aged bald bloke from the back end of nowhere. I'm really humbled by that. But I'm only a tiny, tiny minnow in the big sea of YouTube guitar shenanigans, aren't I? I'm not exactly Phil McKnight, although we do kind of have the same sense of, hairdressing. I'm not exactly Phil McKnight or, Glenn Fricker or, even Dave Simpson or something like that. I'm just kind of if those guys are the McDonald's and the Burger King of the industry, then I'm just the little kind of greasy spoon cafe around the corner. Really, that's my place in the world, and so I'm not as famous as any of those guys. So there you go. Oh, I've just seen there 224 watching, which is nice. Welcome. Right. Reaction channels have 100k plus subs sometimes, sitting, listening, or watching stuff. Yeah, I've thought about doing reaction videos, but I'm just not sure what the kind of what would be the point in doing a video that gets 1 million views and kind of gets you 100,000 subscribers if you earn no money from it. Because ultimately this is this is part of my revenue. This is what I do to put food on the table and pay the mortgage. So, and I can't imagine that if you are literally showing a copyrighted piece of work, be it a music video or a comedy video or something like that in your video, I can't imagine that those videos are ever going to be monetized. Talking of reaction videos, the particular genre that I've got into recently is anyone in the UK that's well, pretty much anyone who's watching this, I'm sure, will remember there was a steeplejack in the UK, a fellow called Fred Dibner, who was something of a character. And he became a TV star in the late 70s when the BBC filmed a documentary about him, like a fly on the wall kind of thing. And he ended up with a TV career. And I'm loving watching people who were previously unaware of him reacting to clips of his old TV shows, especially ones where he's, kind of climbing a rickety ladder against the side of a 300-foot tall industrial chimney, with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth and a thermos flask under his arm. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So that I do watch a lot. Well, not a lot, but when I do get a chance to watch YouTube videos, I do like some of those reaction videos. Anyway, chaps, you may recall that I've been a little bit torn recently between this guitar, my Gibson Les Paul Tribute, and this guitar. We want a Robson Fest weekend, says Ravensmead. I'm going to talk about that later on in the stream, and thanks for the super chat, mate. Anyway, the Gibson Les Paul Tribute versus the Epiphone 59 Les Paul. Beautiful guitar. I can't justify keeping both of them. And so one of them has to go. And what I've been doing this week is filming the comparison video where I essentially make a decision as I'm making the video about which guitar is going to stay and which one is going to go. Which the decision is made. And I'm looking for a buyer for the guitar that is going to be going. And I will tell you which one is going to be going, but I know some of you won't want to know yet because it's a bit of a spoiler for the video. So if you don't want to know which guitar is staying and which one is going, whether I'm keeping the Epiphone 59 Les Paul, the limited edition kind of collaboration with the Gibson Custom Shop, or whether I'm keeping the the Gibson Les Paul Tribute, the sort of bottom end of the USA-made Gibson range. If you don't want to know which one of those I'm keeping and which one I'm selling, then mute your speakers now. And right, okay, so those of you who are kind of going to who might be interested, I'm selling the Epiphone. Okay, the Gibson is just that little bit better in all ways. I think and plus I've made an emotional connection with the Gibson. So if anyone wants to buy the Epiphone, 500 quid and it's yours. Okay, that is the price that I'm asking for it, because that is the price that Balder, who has very kindly sent me the guitar on approval, is wanting for it. I'm not going to make anything out of it other than the YouTube revenue I'll get from the videos I've made with it. So if you are interested, you know how to get in touch with me, jrguitartuition@gmail.com. Get in touch and we can, kind of talk about, how I'm going to get it to you and all that sort of stuff. And that is the decision. So if anybody's interested in that fine Epiphone, let me know. And yeah, anyway, you can unmute now if anybody did mute. I suspect you were all kind of listening there. But it's £500. It's £500. That's what I'm asking for it. So whatever the equivalent is in euros. Oh, time profit. That's very unkind. That's very unkind. It is a fantastic guitar, that Epiphone. It's as I say. Well, let me put it this way. Look at the Gibsons I've had. Look at the Les Pauls that I've had through here in the last 12 months. There's the Les Paul Tribute. There's the Marty Friedman Les Paul Standard. And there was the Les Paul Classic. I basically the Marty Friedman Standard. It's not a signature model. It's a Les Paul Standard that was once owned by Marty Friedman that a friend of mine now owns, and he loaned me it for the video. And there's the Les Paul Classic that is owned by another one of my students that he very kindly loaned me, and they're both excellent guitars. But that Epiphone, I think, is just a short head in front of them. It's a better guitar than some Gibsons, and the fact that it was a very, very difficult decision as to which one stayed and which one went is testament to how good the Epiphone is. So there you go. David Evans is saying, will you do pay monthly on the Epi? No, I'm not your mum's catalogue, mate, I'm afraid. Edwin, yeah, yes, just let's leave it at that, mate. I will say that when it's sold, I will offer free postage to UK buyers. If you're overseas, then there may need to be a conversation about postage costs, which I'll split with you. How about that? Yeah, Stuart. Colin, the guitarist, is going to be reviewing a Chinese Tokai Breezy sound. Looking forward to that review. Yeah, I saw his review today of that. I always get these mixed up: the Custom Telecaster and Telecaster Custom. One of them has the humbucker, and one of them is just a double bound Telecaster. But he did the double bound Telecaster with a single coil pickups today. The Squire Classic Vibe Factory Special run. Lovely sounding guitar. I've got to say, I wasn't keen on the colour though. that sort of, kind of khaki green kind of colour that it was in. Maybe it looks nicer in the flesh. I don't know. But, well, you know me. If I just look around this room here, I don't think there is a single guitar in here that is like a solid colour guitar. Every guitar in this room is one where you can actually see that it's made from a lump of timber. And I do like to see wood grain on a guitar, but that's just my... is it Fender Special Run J. Ao Young? Thank you for correcting me there. What am I talking? I'm currently on... What flavour am I on? It is... from Mirage, which is the local chain of vape shops around here, and the flavour is Cafe Tobacco, which is sort of pipe tobacco, chocolate and coffee mix, which sounds revolting, but it's actually really Moorish. The Harley Benton P90, I'll go and grab that and you will see. You will see. You can see there is wood grain visible there. Admittedly, it is very, very opaque in the finish, but it looks kind of solid black in certain lights. I'll grant you that, but you can just about see there on camera there. It does have like the kind of maple veneer on top that you can just about see. And again, another guitar I should really play more often, because every time I pick it up, it's like, oh yeah, this is nice. So, am I sponsored by the vape shop? No, I'm not. Edwin Toonan, you, sir, are a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you so much, mate. Steve Cassidy's got a new Silver Sky SE. Won't be keeping it. Oh dear. Well, there's nothing more disappointing than when you get a new guitar and you just don't connect with it. The last time that happened to me, it was such a disappointment. Was with the PRS Vela, what you know the one. I'd been wanting one of those guitars since about 2015 when they first came out. It just looked like somebody at the PRS factory had got a picture of a fat, bald northern bloke on his desk and said, let's build a guitar for him. And when I got it, it was just such a letdown. I don't know. I can't explain why. It just didn't kind of gel with me. And then I sold it, made a profit on it, and bought this. And I'll be honest with you, chaps, if I didn't have, and get ready for the gratuitous Blondie shot, if I didn't have this, my signature model, Dan, you're a star, an artist, mate. If I didn't have Blondie there, this would be my number one guitar. It is so addictive to play. And I saw the Rhett Shull video where he tried a bunch of different PRSs, and out of them, that was his favourite. And I think he went up to I don't think he went up to private stock level, but he went up to sort of, he had like SE, S2, which was that one, and Core, and a couple of others. And that was his favourite. And it's just such a fantastic guitar, ridiculously versatile. And the two guitars I reach for, three guitars sound like Monty Python and the Spanish Inquisition. The three guitars I reach for most nowadays are Blondie, PRS, and four guitars I reach for. Blondie, PRS, S2 standard, Faisley Telecaster copy, and Les Paul tribute, roughly in that order. You have the choice of a local Pearl and Deal style sponsor. Who would you choose? Without question, it would be Bengal Spice, who will be providing the sustenance for us on Sunday evening, it has to be said. The whole thing about going for an Indian meal is, is just like when you go to get the takeaway, you never phone ahead, because if you phone ahead, it's ready when you go and pick it up. And that means that you can't sit in the foyer and have a couple of pints of Kingfisher or Cobra, which I always do. It's got so bad now at Bengal Spice that I just walk in and they just pick the glass off and start pouring the pint for me. And it's like, well, we know you want one of these, then tell us what food you're ordering. I think it gets sponsored by you. Jay Jeffries is saying, what Frank Marino album are you listening to? I'm listening to a lot of Mahogany Rush live at the moment. It's as I've said before many times, my daily routine is I get up at stupid on a morning, 5:30, and sit there with a kind of bucket of coffee. Well, it's actually one of those travel mugs you sometimes see in the background in videos. Sit there with that big bucket of coffee and just kind of get my eyes to focus and ease myself into the day. And whilst doing so, put an album on. And 3 mornings this week it's been, Frank. It's been Mahogany Rush live. I'm really, and I only discovered them recently. So just one of those bands that were sort of on the kind of they were sort of on the fringes of my awareness, and I just kind of I knew about them, but I wasn't that familiar. I'd heard the odd track, when somebody else would have the album on when you're in the car with them or something. But really, just to kind of sit down and properly listen and pay attention to them, that's only happened recently. And God, I'm blown away by that guy's playing. Incredible. Now, there's a topic for conversation. Does anybody share my opinion that a Strat or Telly must have a maple fretboard, or a Les Paul must have a scratch plate, or is it just me? I'm 50% there with you, mate. I am 50% there with you. A Les Paul has to have a scratch plate. It just doesn't look right without one, and I know there will be people who will take the polar opposite view to that. The first thing they do when they get a Les Paul is remove the scratch plate. For me, it needs to be there. Okay, it's just one of those kind of binary things, and it's scratch plate. When it comes to Strats and Tellys or Fenders, let's say. Maple versus Rosewood, I really don't care. It makes no difference to me. I've never been able to tell a significant difference in the tone of the guitar between Maple versus Rosewood, and whilst I mean Stevie Ray Vaughan, he played a Rosewood. His number one guitar was, I think, a Rosewood board Strat, wasn't it? But then again, one of my other favourite Strat players, Hank Marvin, who's probably got the most unique Strat sound, really, hasn't he? Hank Marvin plays a Strat and gets a sound that nobody else ever gets out of a Strat. You don't usually you can hear a Strat sound, can't you? You can hear that sort of that characteristic sound. It's almost become a cliche of a sound. And Hank doesn't get anything like that sound out of a Strat. And he played, his famous Fender Stratocaster that was the first. Is it true that Hank's Strat was the first ever Fender Stratocaster in the UK? I've heard that said many times. But that famous Fiesta Red one that some people refer to as salmon pink, that with a bird's eye maple board. Maple. I don't really care one way or another when it comes to Fender fretboards. That's to be said. Let's have a look, see what's going on in the chat. Yeah, Malcolm Spillett saying Hank Strat was supposed to be the first in the UK. I know there was some sort of, because this was in the kind of late 50s, and there was still some kind of post World War II import ban, because I think the government at the time was wanting to kind of stop people buying stuff from overseas to kind of get British industry back on its feet, because it had been turned into rubble, basically. And I think Cliff privately imported it for him, because you could still do individual private imports, but you couldn't sort of import them to sell them. Let's have a look. David Evans, what are you saying there, mate? I always regret getting rid of my Ibanez Roadstar 2 series custom back in the day. It was a bit like the Steve Lukather one. They were great guitars, weren't they, those Ibanez Roadstars? And that was sort of round about the time in the late 70s, early 80s or thereabouts, when, you started seeing, big name guitar players using, guitars that weren't Gibsons and Fenders. I remember in a book that I've spoken about many times, the Guitar Handbook, there was a foreword in that book by Andy Summers, and a little picture of Andy Summers in there, and you think of Andy Summers, you either think of that Telecaster with a humbucker at the neck, or you think of the red Strat. But in this picture, he was holding an Aria Pro 2 guitar, and I don't know what that did, but I suspect it probably. How many Aria Pro 2 guitars did that one little picture of Andy Summers holding one? So, and where are we? I think someone was asking me there if I can play a guitar with dots on the neck. Was that 21st Century Boy? Well, yeah. This one's got dots on the neck. Maybe you're asking, can I play one without dots on the neck? Well, this guitar here, this Faisley, it has dots on the neck, but it's a roasted maple neck with dark coloured dots, and in certain lighting conditions, the dots are difficult to see. But I tend to rely more on the side dots anyway. And, again, they're dark coloured against a dark wood background. But something about the way the light kind of falls on them and everything makes them easier to see. And, it's... so as long as I've got these dots here on the side, I'm all right. But... I can't remember the last time I played a guitar that didn't have fret markers, actually. I tell you one thing that I did once. There was one of my students had, and gosh, this is going back to the late 90s. He had the one of the Ibanez Steve Vai guitars, the Gem guitars, and it was the one with the Tree of Life inlays. Gosh, that was hard work finding your way around on that guitar, because there was the leaves on the Tree of Life are all at kind of the same frets where you'd have the normal inlays, but you just look down and it did look crowded and kind of. I found that guitar, possibly I was okay on it, but it was a bit of an adjustment, so. What are you saying there, Balder? You just bought the blue Coyote Outlaw Plus. They're a fantastic guitar. I mean, I've got this. You probably can't see it, but I've got a Fender made in Mexico, Nashville Telecaster there. And that was a gift from a very, very generous chap in the States called Joe, who possibly is even watching now. And I love that guitar, and it means a lot to me that somebody bought it for me as a gift. But I don't tend to use that guitar as a Telecaster. I will use that guitar more like a hardtail Strat, which is essentially kind of what it is, because it's got like the middle pickup and it's got the whole kind of Strat sort of thing going on. The other when I want a HSS Strat, I'll use the Sire S7 behind me there. But when I want a Telecaster tone, that Faisley is the one I go for. It's an absolute fantastic guitar, and I can't believe they're only 150 quid. I've put about another 150 quid into mine in terms of a new wiring loom, new pickups, and locking tuners. But for 300 quid all in, which was only really 150, because full disclosure, as you know, I offered to pay. Bax Music sent me that Faisley Telecaster, the Outlaw Coyote Plus, let's call it, to do a review on. And the idea is that I basically do the review and then just return it to them. I emailed Rick at Bax Music and said, "Send me the bill, lad. You're not getting this one back." And in the end, he just said, "No, you can have it on us." I didn't solicit that. I didn't ask for a free guitar, but I wasn't going to turn it down. I would have been more than happy to pay the full asking price. And to be honest with you, I'd have been, if that guitar was 250 quid, I'd have been happy to pay that for it, because it's a fantastic guitar. It's got ash body, hand rubbed stain finish, roasted maple neck, Wilkinson hardware, bone nut. I mean, come on, 150 quid? What's not to like? Yes, the Robson Fest. Yes, I was going to mention that. Thank you for reminding me, Anton. Appetite seems to be growing for this. We had the first one. When was that? Was that in 2021? Where we all kind of converged on Redcar for beer and curry, and a fantastic evening was had by all. And there were various kind of soundings about doing another one. So I think last year sometime I broached the subject, and what I noticed was that those people who were up for it were very, very, very up for it. But it was only it was a much smaller number than had expressed interest in the first one. And given that the first time we did it, about 30 people said, "Yeah, I'm up for it," and about a dozen turned up. When kind of 15 or 16 people are saying, "Yeah, I'm up for it," you start wondering, is it going to be me and two other people, But I'm getting more and more interest in this, kind of this idea of all meeting up for a beer and a curry in real life again. So watch this space. I will try and make it happen. And I'm not sure whether to go down the route of some kind of big organized kind of thing, because there have been suggestions that we kind of have we turn it into some sort of mini jam or gig or something like that. That would be kind of logistically complicated to set up. That's all I'm saying. And I do long hours doing YouTube and tuition, so there might be issues there. But at the very least, if enough people are up for it, then we will do it again, even if it's just massive amounts of beer and a curry. So if you are interested in, kind of finding your way up to Redcar for for many, many beers and a curry and basically what they call in Ireland the crack, then we can organise that. If you're interested, let me know. Express an interest. jrguitartuition@gmail.com. Get in touch so I can get some numbers, some definite numbers, but only get in touch if you know you can definitely make it, if the dates are right. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it properly. So yeah, it'd be fantastic to do it again. It really, really would. and I can't offer you accommodation because this is a small house. But what I will do is I'll put £100 behind the bar, and you can all have a beer on me, maybe a couple of beers on me, and we'll kind of we'll just have a bit of a chin wag and a chat, and get suitably drunk and eat a curry. So if you're up for it, let me know. If enough people definitely want to do it, then I'll organise it. I'll book the table and all that sort of stuff at the curry house and everything. So there we go. That's it. That's the possible meetup. Yes, indeed, Colin. Once you're at Teesside, if you rapidly slow down, it means your wheels have been nicked. There we go. Lederhosen optional. Have you a date in mind, John? No, at the moment. A date that will be, convenient for people, basically. It will definitely be a Friday evening, and it will definitely be, in 2023. That's as much as I'll say at the moment. Because I want to make sure that it can be organised for the most amount of people. So in your email, make sure you kind of let me know if there's any dates that you're not available, basically. And as someone just said there's plenty of bed and breakfasts in Redcar. This is a town where the economy uses a lot of kind of nomadic contractors who stay in bed and breakfast. So there's lots and lots of affordable accommodation in Redcar. And as I say, I'll chuck £100 behind the bar just as a token of appreciation for you chaps turning up to come and have a beer with me. We can do that. My missus will come. What's the shops like in Redcar? If you're looking for Harvey Nichols, or Prada or Gucci, then she might be a bit disappointed. We've got a Morrison's, and we've got an Asda, and we've got a bunch of charity shops and some pound shops. But she ain't going to be buying any catwalk fashions on Redcar High Street, I'm afraid. Yes, Jay, how young? Redcar. That's the town where I live. It's, if you want the etymology, is that what it's called, of the name? It's from the old Anglo-Saxon for reed scar. Basically, what scar is an old Anglo-Saxon term for kind of rocks, because we have a rocky coast near us, and which has claimed quite a few ships over the years. And there's an estuary that has got lots of reeds in it, so reed scar eventually became Redcar. So can you get Jimmy Nail as a special guest? No, he's from Newcastle. That's miles away from me. It's I don't know. I'll who knows? You can tell I've had a few beers. I'm seriously considering the idea. I wouldn't bank on it, mate. Basically, yeah, we've got a B&M, Steve. We've got a B&M. Oh, Jason, dear me. Someone got shot with a starting pistol in Redcar. Police said it was race related. Just have a word with yourself, mate. Right, anyway, chaps, we are 59 minutes plus change into the stream, and I'm starting to get hungry, and not to put too fine a point on it, what goes in must come out. So we're going to wrap things up here. As I say, drop me an email if you're interested in the meetup. Don't forget to include dates when you're not available, and I'll kind of sift through it all, and I'll announce what is, or hopefully is, or possibly isn't going to happen in the live stream next week. But that, for the moment, is it, chaps. Thanks once again for turning up and watching a fat, bald lad talk absolute bollocks for an hour. It's been a blast, and I'll keep on doing it till you're sick of me. But for now, time, gentlemen, please.